Good day, everyone. Welcome back to Zelda Speedruns for another Season 6 tournament bracket match. Today we have a losers bracket round 1 match, Sponge versus Machie. Today, tracking for us, we have Mad Monk Adam and also Mad Monk Adam. He will be double tracking for us today, so please give him his props. He will be working very hard behind the scenes to let everyone know what the heck is going on, because we sure as heck know. And also with me behind this desk, commentating, we have Hagmania and Lee Harold. Please take it away.
Howdy, everyone.
Hey, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever time zone you might be. Welcome to more Season 6 tournament action. How are you today, Lee?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm looking forward to this match. It's been quite a roller coaster ride in terms of brackets.
Right, yeah. So to set the stage here, we've got the 13th seed Sponge, well known in the community, a veteran, a two-time grand finalist in standard tournament play here, sent down to the losers bracket round 1 in their match against Master Alex against the 45 seed Machie. I believe this is their first standard tournament, and I might be wrong about that, but they were sent to the losers bracket by Rock Chalk. So quite a surprise here to be seeing Sponge in the first round, but this is rando. I mean, a lot of variance in this, but I'm expecting a racer with a vengeance with Sponge. What do you think about this matchup, Lee?
I actually agree with that. And if you see from the statistics here, Sponge has more races. He's got a faster best time, average time, and he has he's basically got more things going for him than Machie, but Machie is still able to.
Yeah, no slouch. Absolutely not. Yes, I agree with you. I see what you're saying. Yeah, and you know, I'm sure the betting will play out as well. Sponge is a perennial favorite for any race they're in. Machie a bit more of an unknown quantity, but I mean, we've already seen multiple upsets. This would be another one, you know, if Machie were to pull off the victory. But we've seen multiple upsets up and down the brackets here. So it's, I mean, I don't want to say it's anyone's race, because I do think that Sponge is favored, but really it could be anyone's race depending on that one check that might be hidden.
Yep.
So let's take a look now at our start. Looks like a child start to me, Lee. What song is that we're starting with?
That's Sun Song.
Right, Sun Song that we'll be starting with today.
They have more control over the time of day, but it's also a child start and Goron Ruby start. So we'll have one hint that won't be like a direct path, but all the others will.
Interesting. Good point. That information will be vital. We will be missing a path hint, because there will be 6 medallions expected to be collected and only 5 path hints available throughout the seed. Well, duplicates. So there would be 10 hints, but 5 unique paths, you should say. With time of day, you know, you might expect perhaps a bit of an extended child here. Getting a few more checks based around time of day than you might expect. Dompe digging. I think it really depends on the spawn. Though, you know, if it's just a market spawn, you could just see a plate of Lon and right back to adult. I mean, a lot of different options here, starting with Sun Song.
Yep.
If you were going to start with Sun Song as a child, would that differentiate your routing at all in the early game? What do you think about starting with Suns?
Well, it does mean that if there's something on Skulls, that I'm going to aggressively chase Skulls.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense to me. What if you find early hints that like 30 and 40 are dead? Do you still rush to 20? What do you think? You got that Suns.
Yeah, 20 is still a good idea, because unless it's hinted on a sometimes hint, it's not really worth it to just slack off.
Understood. And knowing that your opponent does have that Sun Songs and has the opportunity to get those early skulls, perhaps it could make a difference in your decision making. All right. We've got just about 1 minute left on the countdown now. I'm gonna kick off this pretty pressure-packed match here for Sponge. I mean, both runners obviously facing the pressure, but Sponge is carrying, a couple of seasons worth of expectations with them. I really wonder, how they'll perform today. If they, if they are going to be able to collect themselves and run their race, or if we'll see perhaps any sort of, any other sort of divergence from their usual play. Really, I think the game plan though for Sponge would be to run their race and shake off the last one and be, this is my style, this is the way I win. And as for Machie, I mean, you know what you're going up against. You're going up against a favorite, so we could see some high variance plays. We could see some aggressive routing. It'd be very interesting to see as we're about to kick off here. Yeah,
right in the market.
So it is a market spawn.
Oh god, is that Sephiroth on Machie's end?
Haha! Custom models now being allowed in Season 6. I like what I see here. So long as the skeleton conforms to the original game's model, they are allowed, as approved by the race mods.
So I guess Link is the new Cloud. But they're both basically making the same play right now, which is
going into Lon here.
Ranch.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, starting in market, going to Lon. It will be interesting to see if they continue on through child or if they go right back to adult. It might depend upon the song they get or any items they might collect here. We'll just have to see what the runners decide. Learn along with them. Alright, doing some chicken checking. Finding an item from Talon here. What is it?
Oh, that's Din's Fire. That's really early.
Super early Dins.
We'll be getting our first skull, and it looks like Machie's setting up for a steel stick. Didn't quite get it, but we're getting the skull regardless. We'll see what's on Malin. And it's Song of Storms, so
interesting.
We won't be getting a Storms AD.
Song of Storms. Your first song check as child in Lon Ranch is Song of Storms. All right, Lee. When do you decide to go into Well? When you get an early storm?
The majority of the checks are available.
We'll be missing explosives in Zelda's Lullaby, though. It's always seems to be the heuristic that our runners use. Do you go in with just explosives? Do you go in with just Lullaby? Do you go in with nothing? It'd be interesting to see.
And just ice arrows.
Just ice arrows in the silo. All right, Sponge is going to head back out.
Yep.
Going to continue their child this way.
And Machie is saving and quitting, so he's going into the market. Sponge, I think he might be doing the Valley Lake loop or going to the forest. Probably the latter.
Could be going straight to forest.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yep. Sorry, yes, I just agreeing with you. I like the analysis.
We'll just see in a minute. That is a forest play.
I like it. My comm's on point here in the booth with me today. Thank you, Lee, for joining me, keeping me honest as we see Sponge head right to forest. And Machie, gonna do some night checks in market. I'm gonna get Richard.
Even if Sephiroth was technically a weapon, he still knows how to charm the dogs. Including our good boy Richard, who brought us only $5. And now for daytime market checks.
Gonna clean up some child shooting there.
And now for Kokiri sword chest as well. We'll see right away what it is. And I think Sponge is collecting a bit of money here. Speaking of which,
And just a little bit more for him there. You know, I see the choice to not save and quit, to walk out. You know, doing that saves you the time on VC for the reset. I think this speaks that Sponge is not exactly planning to go adult too soon. You know, obviously, items.
oh, Mito's house is completely dead. But there could still be bomb chews.
That's right. Opening
Mostly
small chests.
mostly just heart pieces right now. And $5. Well, it's basically just heart pieces, I guess.
Prelude of Light on Burning Cack.
Oh,
I think that is our first hint. I may have missed one. Alright, Temple of Time hints.
small key on boss key chest. 40 has the light arrows.
Oh, 40 is lights. Okay, well, Early Suns, Temple of Time hint for 40 skulls. The seed's letting you know what it's expecting right off the bat. The Dongo's Cavern to Twin Rova. I missed the Kokiri hint there at the top of the grotto opening.
I think we'll get a better
Yeah.
look from Machie. But knowing that 40 skulls is required, but it's not like an urgent rush for it compared to like any other item, because these are light arrows.
Yeah, especially with 6 medallions, you know, especially starting with a stone, you'll have plenty of
Frogs 2 is
opportunity
dead.
to passively gain those skulls.
Oh, there's
Bomb
the
bag.
bomb bag. That forest dip paid out well for Sponge.
Yep, showing the versatility of Sun Song as well, using it as a little bit of a warp here to the beginning of the area you'd entered. Ocarina minigame, going to start off with a Requiem. And that is quite the advantage for Sponge coming out here. That bomb bag early will allow for... Huh. I believe that is Requiem. Anyway, bomb bag early allows for just a more consistent sort of strategy here. Checking... more thorough checking throughout, you know, Forest right now, or sorry, Lost Woods right now. You know, you can take that dip into the well. I think there's a lot of options, and I think it favors a veteran like Sponge a little bit more to do those consistent routings.
Lost Woods Path to Baronade.
Interesting.
We got a bomb bag and another bomb bag.
Whoa, that's I believe that is a bomb-locked bomb bag, no doubt.
Yes, it is. But he won't be running out of bombs for a while. Not like he was, though. Oh, and there's hover boots on Man on the Roof.
Man on Roof with hovers. Hovers and dens early.
Yes. Target in the woods is dead. Once we get Magic and Nocturne and a hook shot, then it's basically just go Shadow Temple, go Shadow Temple.
One would think. You know, I did. Oh, sorry, I totally neglected. We did we talk about the
Speaking of Nocturne.
Layout?
But definitely DC, which we already have the Path to Baronade in Lost Woods, so King Dodongo doesn't really have a path from what I'm seeing.
God, there's Nocturne right away. All right. So before we go too much further here, a lot of action.
Oh, it's all dungeons!
OOT is Zelda's Lullaby. Why does the game insist upon this?
Well, this is information that Machie knows now, and 30 Skulls is dead.
All right, I definitely think that Sponge currently has an early advantage. Then, just the way they're routing with all dungeons. Oh gosh,
Sun Song having something. Shadow Temple, Pat the Bongo Bongo, and that's a Goron tunic. Big Goron obviously dead. But dang.
Shadow to Bongo. Suppose that would be a hook shot?
Probably.
Or, oh yes, again, we still have neglected to talk about our stones. Perhaps it could be Kakiri Sword.
Yep.
Because Deku and Fire
or hammer.
Could be the hammer, perhaps. Something to complete the stone dungeons in order to get Zelda's Lullaby. That was a Ruto's Letter pickup. Man, this early game is wild.
Yeah.
Okay, Sponge has seen enough. He's gonna go adult.
And he's gonna have a lot more to do as adults. And he's gonna get the hints that he needs.
Green Doll, I did not recognize anything on the graveyard crate there, so I'll trust chat when they think it was just a Bluefy.
So from what I'm getting at, this seems like a fairly linear dungeon. Well, fairly linear seed compared to, yeah, a pretty linear seed. Because that's usually what all dungeons boils down to.
Could be indeed. Following your progression early could just lead to more progression within those same dungeons.
And there's the bow.
Bow! Alright. So that's not in Shadow. What are we... I don't recognize the model either. Some callouts perhaps of Sid on Machie's side. Alright, that's a wallet there available for Sponge on Bombshell Bowling.
And he's not taking it. And he's not taking that either.
And Bloopy gonna take that.
Ooh.
Yeah, just waste those arrows now if you missed the first one.
Well, we're basically getting back-to-back archery games, but one with a bow and the other with a slingshot. And the slingshot one always plays out the same.
Alright, so we are just 12 and a half minutes into this race. Flurry of action. We've learned that OT is Zelda's Lullaby, so we'll have to complete Deku and Fire before being able to complete the rest of the dungeons that are locked behind ZL. So that would be definitely Shadow Temple, you know, probably Water, you know, possibly Spirit. So a big bottleneck there.
A free shield, we'll take that.
Free shield, that's nice, always nice. We found just a plethora of items early on, both adult and child routing here. We found, as you can see on the trackers, thank you so much to Mad Mac Adam doing the heavy lifting there. You can see that we found hovers, we found dims, bow, bomb bag, Rito's letter, just a lot of items that actually, you know, they, you know, bombs opens up so many checks and different locations. Rito's letter gives you access.
And here's Sponge buying his shield.
Yep, buying a shield there on Sponge side. The bow allows for deeper checks within dungeons. You know, I think I think this is quite an interesting seed.
Unreal Tomb Flames is double defense. That was one I was sort of unsure of, but now I know.
Yeah, the check in Composer's Grave is double defense. Correct. Oh, unfortunate here for Machie. They are up on Death Mountain Trail without that bomb bag.
Thankfully, that was just a small chest in the mud wall. Dodongo's Cavern to Twinrova? Let's go.
Yep, getting into Dodongos there. Given that bomb bag was so early, we could see basically nearly any item.
SFM Path to Morpha.
Interesting, interesting.
And the song that was there was Bolero. At least for Saria's song check.
Correct. And that would be all of our path hints. Yes, that's all of our path hints. Pointed out there that Forest Temple will not be receiving a path hint.
And there's Minuet on Bolero. So that gives us access to the Minuet check.
That would already resolve our paths, but depending on what is on the Minuet check, as we'll see, could determine more logic.
Requiem! It's a chain!
A nice song chain coming up here.
But Sponge can go just about anywhere.
This is we're gonna start separating the wheat from the chaff here. You've got all these options, all these warp songs. Very good early game item in the bomb bag here. 15 minutes in, I think you know, routing choices, and not just like check choices, but you know, actual routing choices, as in your entire strategy, is a lot more. Oh, what was that?
That was a bottle. Yeah, it's a bottle on 1500.
Okay, bottle on 1500. Okay. That's a strength on Link the Goron, or Machie the Goron.
Now he's drunk.
Yeah, this is a pretty big early game advantage.
Oh, there's something big on the left side of the maze.
Looks like a big chest there on left side of Goron City Maze. Thank you, Lee. I could not. I couldn't see a thing. I'm terrible at checks. I'm peeking.
Though with hover boots, Sun Song, and a bomb bag, Sponge can easily get that. Albeit it'll still be out of logic, but still.
Great point. Alright, Machie gonna take those hover boots into the crater and find Minuet of Forest. And gonna take a peek here at the crater ledge. Guess that was nothing. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to see some of the freestandings. But I'm pretty sure, yeah. Requiem is the SFM path, which would make the most sense. Because Bolero doesn't really lock anything because you can get hover boots on Man on the Roof.
This is the kind of action I wanted to see here on Machie's side. You know who you're up against. You know what you're facing. An early dip into Fire Temple. This is the type of play I was waiting for.
And a key, so we keep going. We only stop if we don't find two others. Or he's just gonna bail.
Alright, just gonna go for the first check. Respectable.
And Sponge cashing out.
Anju with the goods. Alright, so is she gonna follow the song chain? Gonna get Saria's out there on Colossus.
Oh, Sponge is going for this heart container too.
Yeah, Sponge leaving nothing to chance. I can definitely tell he is committing to relying just relying on his game. He's gonna pick up a couple extra checks here and there for security purposes, and he's just gonna route the way that he wants to.
Yep. He's going to be grabbing those hover boots soon, but I think the only check he has left in Lost Woods is Skull Kid. He'll know it's AD soon.
Yes, and even still, I think this still points to, as he finds that it is AD, even even without knowing, I think his early plays indicate that he expects to pull through, you know, just basically through force of will, basically, and we'll see if that, you know, if he gambles on himself and it pays off. There you go. He's gonna pick up Goron Tunic here in the Sun Song in the chest.
It's free. Why would you spend 200 rupees on a tunic when you could just get one for free?
Exactly.
And Machie's going straight back to child now, because there's nothing he can do at the moment.
Alright, so Machie is you know, I wonder what happens when they find that bomb bag. I do wonder what sort of decisions that might lead them to start making if they divine that, well, there's an early bomb bag here, and that means it's also easily available to Sponge. I wonder if we'll see more plays like that early Fire Temple dip.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna just take a quick peek-see there that, yep, Shadow Temple is on the path to Bongo Bongo.
In before it's a required double dip. That's actually kind of scary. Given that we're definitely going to need the hammer or the Kokiri sword. Yeah, wait, that's Lost Woods Path to King Dodongo, so it's both that and Baronade.
Alright, Spence picking up their bow.
And we're going to get this checked quickly. Now I think Sponge is going to check Men on the Roof because he hasn't done that yet.
Indeed. The grabbing hovers there, and he'll be checking Men on the Roof on his way. I guess he could not check it and do it after Dodongo's Cavern, because you have to imagine early bomb bag. That's your beeline going straight to Dodongo's.
Yeah, of course, but if you orphan a low sphere check for too long, it just becomes lingering.
Yep, we wouldn't know anything about orphaning Man on Roof for too long.
You referring to yesterday's match?
Well, let's not spoil the fun for our viewers.
I know.
But... yes, I might be referring to that.
And I was right. But the hover boots are going to certainly help him out.
It does make for a smoother Dodongo's Cavern.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Chibi Sephiroth. It's actually kind of precious. Though I think if it were Cloud, it'd probably be more appropriate.
Alright, Machie is going to get their bomb bag here, and You know, I think I expect them to go to the well.
Yeah, that's pretty likely. Shadow Temple is again Pat the Bongo Bongo. Yeah, Sephiroth is Final Fantasy VII. Oh, are the Skull Kids trying to teach Machie uh, Saria's song? Because they tried teaching Sponge.
Requiem. Alas.
It's Saria's scale, not Saria's song. See?
I see what you did there. Very nice. Alright, so as we can see here, Sponge going just, a few seconds out of their way to collect a skull. It's a scale.
There's a scale. That actually does put access to Jabu and Logic.
So we do have access to Jabu. Ooh, interesting. Alright, so not going to go back to the well.
The only scrubs that are shuffled is the one with the heart piece in Hyrule Field, and the two with the nut and stick upgrades in Lost Woods. But everything else is basically just normal.
Alright, if our renders give us just a second here to process, we can work through some of these paths. Let me give a chat command here. Alright, so we found the bomb bag in Lost Woods. It's a very obvious path to King Dodongo. Lost Woods had the Router's Letter to Baronade, another very straightforward path. We've yet to see inside Shadow Temple.
And the bomb bag for King Dodongo, which we're seeing this being completed very quickly. And there's SFM path to Morpha.
Yes, so we presume that could be Bolero Fire? Perhaps?
No. Since we have hover boots early, it doesn't matter.
Very good point.
If anything, it'd probably be Requiem. Because it gives us access to spirits, which means Spirit has something like a hook shot, for example.
Aha!
Or something that locks the hook shot.
We do have an identification on Machie's adult model. Someone calling out Viego.
I see.
Yeah.
So we went from Final Fantasy VII to League of Legends?
Apparently. Been a minute since I played League of Legends. I think I stopped playing around the time Jin was released, so it's been a few years for me. I did not recognize that character at all.
Strength was on Link the Goron.
Yes.
Which is in logic with the bow and the bomb bag. Well, either of those.
Alright, Sponge making quick work of Dodongo's Cavern. About to head into the boss battle here. And one more room after this.
Yep, Machie's gonna have to grind out the last few rupees here. Which is not bad because you just do the side hop and back walk.
And that'll be 40 for them.
So far, the only thing we found in Dodongo's Cavern was the scale, so There's definitely something in Jabu. Or
Machie,
in Lake Hylia.
Machie having thoughts about that Rito's letter.
And that's our first boss down, and the light medallion for Sponge.
As easy as 1-2, that's King Dodongo.
Access to Zora's domain. There's also Zora's fountain. Oh, Machie. You gonna see what's here? Oh. Oh. Gotta love the extra bombs, though.
Never
Especially
never quite gets old seeing a bomb-locked bomb.
And just a recovery heart. In other words, we should follow up on that scale. Because it's not for river access, but it is for domain access, and Jabu entry.
Yes, are we watching a rando race or the beginning of that movie Everything Everywhere All at Once? It seems the runners have lots of options.
Yep. I mean, the bomb bag is going to give you so many options. I wonder how if Sponge is going to be trying to go for the left side, the maze chest when he gets there.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yep, ice is locked by AD.
It is. That gives Machie an opportunity to take a gamble. Seeing if you can't shortcut.
And it's not just ice that's locked by it, but Sun Song and Burning Cack.
That's right. That's right.
So it's only the Forest Temple that will have, like, something for us before we have to do all dungeons. And, well, we're just a hook shot from that. The Sponge is currently on 6.
Alright, gonna grab their strength here. Sponge will from Link the Goron.
Now he is super strong. And in terms of progression, Sponge is just ahead for now, just because of completion.
Yeah, of all the hints we've gotten thus far, Shadow to Bongo is the most intriguing for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it puts a pretty high likelihood of being Kakiri Sword or the Hammer, which would be a required double dip of Shadow, which, you know, not too bad if it's in the first couple, but and basically, you know, up to the boat there. Anyway, it's really not too bad of a time loss. You could just push all the way up to shortcut.
Oh, there's Choose there. Skull Mask is dead. And Nuts. Oh.
Could be the hook shot, indeed.
Yeah, the hook shot does lock quite a lot. There's the boomerang, by the way. Someone said 50 skulls for boomerang. Well, that disproves it. And it also means that the boomerang is locked by the hammer or a second strength. But for Sponge, that means that's one more dungeon to be completed.
Yeah, as soon as they go child, that'll be on their docket to be completing their medallion progression there within Jabu Jabu.
Rush Jabu. We're going to be celebrating that play now. Yeah, the scale does guarantee that there's something. That there has to be something locked by it.
Yes. So the pedestal in the Temple of Time will tell you the medallion layout.
We just need to grab the one hint back here, and we might see a save quit from Sponge. And that's a repeat hint. Oh, wait. Yep.
Gonna grab a skull here.
Yep.
Nifty backflip. And a save quit.
Oh, he's feeding him blueberries in the same way that a lot of people would do with bomb chews.
Hmm.
It does look cool, though. And it looks like Sponge is going straight, I think, to OGC just to set time of day.
Grab another skull.
Yep. Grab another skull, set time of day, and he can head to CAC. Since I don't think we've seen Dampe quite yet.
Yeah, we have not seen Dompe digging. Yeah, and that'll be a nice. It'd be night cack as well. Some more easy skull collection. Whew. So, oh, that is. I'm gonna call that unfortunate. Machie is saving and quitting and not going back into Goron City.
Maybe he's not like entirely comfortable with that trick.
It is possible. Unfortunately, that is going to put them. I would say this is now a definitive advantage for Sponge.
Yep. That's why you gotta play out of logic. You get rewarded.
It has its perks, that's for sure.
But we'll be getting plenty of skull checks here.
You can grab a handful as well in Kakariko Village at nighttime as child.
Yep. Volda Destiny time. I don't think I've seen that. And there's a hook shot on Dampe!
Mmm!
That's Forest Temple as well.
Sponge. The first 38 minutes of this match, Sponge is not to be denied. Not messing around. Just running right into all the items. Love to see it. Machie right on their tails, missing a boomerang. A big crucial item in the disparity right now between the runners. Left side Goron City Maze. Use my words correctly. Machie went there before they had bombs, because they were running up DMT with Song of Storms. Check the grotto. Sponge going for a little bit more of an exactly extended, just a longer child than Machie. Had those bomb bags when they came to Goron City, and the hovers. So we're able to get that chest on the left side. Now we see them both as child. Machie also going to grab a hook shot from Dompe digging.
Sponge is currently at 14 skulls out of 40.
agree that this is pretty aggressive for skull routing. However, it could be a stylistic choice, to rush to 20 and get those checks in case it would,
Wait,
alleviate your dungeon clearing.
is this a chickens check? We'll see in a minute.
Sponge
Yeah.
leaving nothing to chance.
Get your chickens in chat. There. This is a chickens check. Bona fide and ready. Oh, for chicken.
Bit of a monka. bit of a worrisome moment there, smashing a chicken with the stick. But you only put 4 chickens in the chat. It's a big change from previous seasons. You only need to collect 4 for this check now.
Yeah, SGL limited to just 3 because they wanted to make it a bit quicker. It looks like nope. Machie's going straight for the well. Chicken's not paying out, sadly.
And Sponge right in behind.
That means we're gonna see well before Jabu.
It's part of what makes randomizer communities so wonderful is the developers and the racers working together in tandem to create new pieces for the game, new bits of logic and reasoning for the game. The race mods also working to create settings and rule sets that really reflect the community's desires and the best racing culture, so to speak. It just and this being one of the largest ones out there, the OoTR community just head and shoulders above the crowd of many other video game communities, in my opinion, my humble opinion.
Well, I agree. This could be either bait or not, but this is not. Lens. Because there could still be something in the market for that. Not likely, though. Oh, there's something here, though. A bottle of bugs. It makes ice cavern much easier. Just in case.
Don't have that, Machie.
Sponge
Lullaby is on the Ocarina of Time.
There's 3 big chests here. Claim
chest of the well.
And that's for dead check, too.
The Biggeron hinted, not an important item here today.
Stick.
Alright, so I'm going to rely on you, Lee, to help me out here with understanding what is behind Zelda's Lullaby as far as what our runners will not be able to collect here.
One of the keys, so logically speaking, one of the 2 checks will not be available.
Yeah, it looks like all the keys are hidden behind Zelda's Lullaby.
Yup. And map chest is the only one left. And that's the first key. Is it really worth it, though? No. Not for Machie. Certainly not for Sponge. Because they both decide to dip out. It also means that there's no way that the Kokiri sword nor the hammer could possibly be in the well at this point.
Great point. Alright, Skull Kid check here. Do we know what this is?
Nope.
All right.
Now
we
we
do now. It's a piece of heart.
And Machie's going straight adult now. Which I could see why, because can't really do anything in Jabu aside from the rank chest.
We have seen Bombchu Bowling on Sponge's side. I think we saw it
On
on
both
Machie as well.
sides.
On both sides, yes.
Well, Goron pots can still be done if you can get magic, because we have Din's Fire, but Dancing Darunia is AD locked. But we still haven't found any magic so far. And
Machie gonna take their items right into Forest Temple.
yep, he's going to be finishing off Forest Temple pretty quickly. Well, as quickly as Forest Temple allows, at least.
Only way it would be much faster for them is if they had the long shot. Would save a little bit of climbing.
Yep.
Furores would also be a definite time save, but no Furores or no magic.
15 skulls for Sponge. Both of our runners are doing well for skulls. It's been a while since I've actually seen light arrows on an always hint.
I believe we saw 40 lights in a previous race as well. I cannot for the life of me remember which one it is, but I do believe it was actually 44 lights.
I could see that, though.
A lowland form, Sephiroth. I love it. Thank you. Thank you for that gift.
Why a Lowland when we could do Galarian, or Hisuian, or even Paldean?
It could have been Challenge Cup. I've watched a lot of Zooter the last couple weeks.
But we'll get to see all the river checks down here.
Yeah, Frogs in the Rain.
More chews, we'll take those.
Certainly always welcome to see chews. Alright, open grotto in the river. Nothing there. And
That's a repeat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, chickens was hinted.
What can you do? Just shake your head, move on. That is a handful of seconds that Machie could save over Sponge. They did not collect chickens before going into well. A big chest here in the courtyard.
That's 14 skulls for Machie. And Nehru's love. Always Zooter safely.
around Zora's domain with Sponge following along their path.
SFM is still Path to Morpha.
Alright, Machie gonna collect that other key there in the courtyard. Gonna head deeper. And hope to find something along the way here for them. As Sponge will do the torch run and the diving game. This is a 2-diver? No, just this be a 3.
Yeah, it's a 3-diver. Let's see if Domain has anything valuable for us today. Not here.
Nothing on the torch run.
Just gotta grab this fish first. And feed him to our god whale. Because yes, he is a whale. You don't see a fish have like a fluke like that.
Whale facts here with Lee Harold. Stay tuned for more Zelda speedruns. Thank you. It's certainly no fluke that we're here in Zora's domain, as well as we have hinted scale path. Is that correct?
Yes. That means Sponge is gonna go into Lake Hylia to check the one thing that is hard scale locked here. Oh, is that a slingshot?
Could be a sling.
Which means child spirits on the table now.
Already was with the boomerang, but in
That was out of logic.
Yeah, that is correct.
And setting up Scarecrow's song, I believe, as well as maybe child fishing.
And I believe in the first hour of a publicized all dungeons 40 skulls, logic is not going to be a concern for several progression dungeons, I believe.
Gotta bait the fish over.
Fish, please! Alright.
Thankfully, it's nowhere near as bad as, like, in the base game. Like, it's just a quick check and then you just forget about it. That's what I like about this particular rando, and I hope the combo rando gets it soon. Because...
Yeah, you were
spending
pimping
all
that
that time
earlier.
fishing.
Yeah, you were telling me in the pregame chat about a seed you were watching. Very nice.
Yes.
I love that they're combining those. It's a bit of a long one, that's for sure.
Yep. You got a few other combo randos too for like different games, but
It just makes so much sense, though.
but this is
OT
perfect
and
for
ML.
like ZSR to do like 2 Zelda games in one.
I see some politicking going on here from Lee Harold. He wants to see the combo on ZSR. Alright, we will summon the whale and clear out Baronade.
Yes.
Alright, Lee, we're looking to go fast here inside Jabu Jabu's belly. What are we watching Sponge here for in terms of perhaps tricks or anything to watch out for in terms of speed?
You mean for
Jabu Jabu? Yes.
it's mostly just like getting Ruto all the way up, which it's mostly just the same path as before. And since we don't have furores, it's not going to be as quick in the path in that particular room where there's the parasites.
Mm. But could see the box skip as well later on in the dungeon.
17 skulls for Sponge. And I think he's going to be saving on sticks because he has exactly 4 of them. And pot strats on Baronade are not fun. Because once you get Ruto up onto the higher level, you don't have to worry about going to the lower level ever again. Unless it's Pot Sandy. And of course, to deliver her to the dungeon reward, which leads to Big Octo.
Alright. Is Machie a gamer? Oh, a gamer indeed.
The gamerest of gamers. Forest Temple Gaming.
Doing our best to liven up this Forest Temple clear.
So map chest is nothing. Let's see the compass chest.
It's quite wild to think of a cartographer
Ooh,
laying out
something
the
on
map
compass
and compass
chest.
of Jabu Jabu's belly.
Yeah. A cartographer inside of a whale. That's crazy. And you'd think that there would be no lighting inside because it's inside the human body and there's no real bioluminescence in it. Unless you evolved such a trait.
Jabu Jabu the light well.
He's quite light.
Bigger on sword there for Sponge. A very nice pickup, especially when you've got all the dungeons left to do besides Dodongo.
I like those cows in Master Quest Jabu, though. They're amazing. It shows the real deep lore of feeding, sacrificing cows to Jabu.
We'll see Machie finishing up the pose portion of the dungeon here in Forest Temple. Playing one of these things is not like the other here with Meg.
It's so great that all the Poe sisters in the Forest Temple are named after the main characters of Little Women.
A great piece of trivia there.
Aonuma must have been a huge fan.
Gonna spin that wheel and head to the Phantom Ganon spot after this check.
Yep. 19 skulls for Sponge. Dang. And there's 2 skulls out in Zora's Fountain, and 16 for Machie. Making short work of this.
I would be... you might see a 20th skull there, with a turn in there for 20. I'm not sure if you'll grab both of the skulls in domain.
You'll certainly get the one on the tree in Fountain.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Right, the 20th one in just before Baronade.
Right. And we are passing the 1 hour mark as Machie is looking for a kill on Phantom Ganon here. Let's watch that and then we'll do some acknowledgements after the fact.
And Sponge is going straight for this skip, the box skip.
Oh.
Not quite getting it the first time. Getting it the second time.
Making it easy on 2 tries there. As Machie fells Phantom Ganon.
And the Zora Tunic spawns out.
We are highly fashionable. Now, Forest Medallion is vanilla, so that is another song that we will be able to get at Temple of Time.
Yep.
And thank you for putting those commands in the chat. Would like to, first and foremost, plug our runners, the Salty Sponge and Machie. Hit those links there up above. Go give them a follow. Agreeing to this restream, putting on a show for us here today, keeping us all entertained on Thursday. Co-commenting today with me in the booth is Lee Harold. Thanks for joining me today. And then our trackers are Magnock Adam and Dominic. You guys do the heavy lifting every race. Big shout outs to our trackers.
Oh, Prelude is on Burning Cack, I see.
I believe that was a duplicate. Yeah. My name is Hagmania. Thank you so much for joining us here on Zelda Speedruns. We're in lower bracket round 1, so this is the first chance of elimination for either one of these runners. Perhaps feeling a little bit of pressure in this race. I don't think either one of them have cracked just yet, though. Some strong racing thus far from both Machie and Sponge.
A vanilla heart container on Baronade, but still, it is important to grab the Shadow Medallion off of Baronade.
That's right. And we should remind, yes, that Baronade was locked behind Rang being in the left side of Goron City Maze. So to put that into logic...
you need either another strength or a hammer.
Very good. Thank you. As we now can ride a horse after retrieving the Forest Medallion.
That does put GTG entry into logic.
Going back, child. Yes, you weren't here at the beginning of the race as we were talking about the statuses of the 2 racers. We'll just do a little bit of a reset here. Sponge is the number 13 seed, while Machie is the number
45 seed.
45 seed. Yes, thank you. Having both lost their winners bracket round 1 match, so now this is an elimination match for them in this double elimination tournament.
And I think with finding that slingshot in Lake Hylia, that'll be really helpful for what we can expect in the Spirit Temple.
Peeking the right hand. I didn't notice a big chest, but I am not reliable.
It looks like Machie is going towards the Jabu area. He'll at least find a slingshot along his way if he decides to go to Lake Hylia.
That is correct. Sponge is a back-to-back grand finalist.
Twice in a row.
5, yes.
In fact, he was in the winners brackets of Season 4.
Well, go ahead, please.
Having lost to what the hell's happened right in the grand finals twice. It was a very close and a close nail biter of a match.
Indeed. Yeah, and while we were counting it as a virtual advantage for Sponge, this is now turning into a real a real time advantage here. As Machie is heading up the river without Ring, so it's gonna, unless they find a Serenade, which I don't believe is hinted, it's gonna be a bit of a trek for them to get back here once they find the Ring.
Yep. He was a runner-up, but back then.
Oh, alright, so we are gonna go deeper into the Spirit Temple as Child.
Yep. And we have plenty of checks along the way, 2 of which are magic locked. Oh, that's so cool.
Busting out the big boy strats here in Spirit Temple. Love to see it. Oh gosh, that looks beautiful.
He even climbed right through it, and oh wow! That's a big chest right there.
Pause.
That's still pretty good though, because when we get magic, we can start using it.
Yeah, and knowing that you're it's especially nice since you know you'll have to have magic to be inside Shadow, and all the path hints, or the path hint for Shadow would imply a double dip. So having Furor's a very nice boon here in this race.
Yep. I think that is a dead chest. It's hard to see with the torch in the way. Yep.
Nothing doing on map chest. Oof, scorching hot takes in the chat. The Sponge guy does seem to be pretty good. Machie no chump. They are facing a bit of an uphill battle though, missing that ring in the left side of Goron City Maze. Really, really just the difference of not going into Lost Woods in their Child 1 section and grabbing that bomb bag before they went adult. As adult, they climbed up. Sorry, please.
There's nothing valuable that is magic locked in Spirits, so Spirits is not magic locked, thankfully.
Not magic locked in Spirit.
Though there might still be checks that are locked behind Zelda's Lullaby.
Indeed, and to get Zelda's Lullaby, we'll need to complete the Stone Dungeons, Deku, and Fire. It is on the Ocarina of Time.
Requiem was on Minuet.
Minuet was on Bolero.
And, Minuet is, I think it was the path.
And I believe Bolero was that Saria song, if my memory is correct.
But it's kind of irrelevant because you have a Sphere Zero hover boots. And none of the keys in Spirit had any. The Saria song was on Requiem. In other words, Minuet locked Saria song.
Machie going to make a similar play to Sponge, basically because they can't really do much in Jabu besides one chest. So this will be similar routing to them. I wonder. I don't think an hour and 10 minutes in, go to Valley here. I guess it would be your best opportunity to do so. I would probably expect a save and quit.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I think Sponge is just going to finish off for us because it's quick, it's easy. He has everything that's required to do it.
Some may argue with that first modifier you gave of quick, but it is relatively straightforward. Basically, letting muscle memory do the work for you as you process your knowledge of the seed.
Yep. And with Big Goron's sword, it does slow down. It speeds up the fights a lot more. I think that kind of Scarecrow song is more similar to a C-stick kind. So, like, just twirling the stick around. Because there are plenty of people who use different types of controllers. Oh yeah, it was definitely needed for finding iron boots. But
yeah,
all I have to say is that our path to Morpha is probably the most complex one.
Yeah, we've got a lot. We've got a lot filled in on the board here. Still missing many items for completion of the game, but we can talk about that now. We'll be missing Kokiri Sword and the Hammer. We'll be missing Longshot. From a logical perspective, we'll be missing the Iron Boots, but if there's nothing of necessity behind the central pillar in Water Temple, we can get into and complete the checks with just the golden scale. We know that the light arrows are on 40 skulls. Please.
Yeah. With the scale path for Twinrova, it was just for that slingshot to get the first few keys.
Yes, makes sense to me.
All we know is that our Rang is just locked behind a second strength or hammer. It was in Goron City Left Maze, which requires a hammer or a second strength.
Yes, it would be remiss of me not to mention that we are also missing magic. Yes, good call by the chat. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, Kokiri Sword is required because it's closed Deku, which requires that you have both a Deku Shield and a Kokiri Sword to get past Mito. And I think that makes it much more interesting than just being able to go straight into Deku Tree.
Yeah, the early Deku play dominated seasons past with Open Deku.
Heck, it even dominates like SGL and in the Scrub tournament. No, I'd say even more.
Yes, with the starting layout, Open Deku was accessible from the minute you said go in a seed.
Though Ice Caverns can still be done out of logic, it's probably not the best idea, given that the only things left would be Serenade and Song of Time. and it wouldn't lock much like with bottom of the well. GTG, on the other hand, might be a play worth going for, given how the majority of the checks are now available.
Yes, it's still looming over us is a missing 50 Skulltula hint.
Yep.
Yes, with that shadow path to Bongo, I mean, there could be any number of things in there, honestly, but probably placing a high likelihood if I were a gambling man, which I am, on Fury Sword or the Hammer being there before the Zelda Lullaby checks, because we need them to get to ZL.
At least Sponge will get a few sticks out of this. And skulls. The skulls really matter. 28 for Sponge, by the way. So he'll be leaving with, I think, 29 or 30.
Missing that 50 hint, we could see the runners just blind push to 50.
Yeah.
In fact, I really wouldn't be surprised to Sponge push from 40 to 50. Everything I've seen from Sponge this race indicates that they're betting on themselves to just to grind out the seed faster than Machie does. So makes sense. Yep. Relying on your strengths as a runner, always important to keep in mind when you're making decisions inside of a race.
Yeah, it's true. Blind 50 from a required 40 is not the worst check in the world.
Yeah, I think the the quote unquote push to 20 was before they had gotten the hook shot, before they had gotten more progression to go do. So I actually like that as an in-race call, but I do think you could have slowed down after 20 for sure, and really let the or after you got those progression items, like the hook shot, you definitely could have slowed down a little bit. But I mean, really, Sponge or Machie really have not really gone out of their way for too many skulls anyway. Just their routing taking them back past the skulls that you may or may not collect if you were not pushing for 40.
I'm just curious on what Sponge will do after finishing up Forest Temple. The only play I could think of would be GTG.
Yeah, could be looking at GTG.
Since there'd only be 4 checks that are 5 checks currently locked. That would be the toilet and the Strength 2 room.
And going to GTG early, and keeping track of your keys, you can really suss out what is behind that Strength 2 block. And for as many checks as GTG has, Strength 2 could just be in there. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I can also see Sponge doing ice just for the same for different reasons that I could see Machie doing ice. Sponge doing ice. If I were quote unquote coaching Sponge, as just from a pure statistical standpoint, which I have no place to be doing so. I would suggest maybe they would not go to ice just from a pure conservatism standpoint, but they if they read that Machie might be doing ice, they could just do it as a counterplay.
Yep.
If I were coaching Machie, I would be pointing them to ice which I also have no place to be doing. So I just get to sit here in my comfy chair and watch the race unfold.
It looks like Machie is reversing to GTG.
Yes,
Plus, he gets an easy skull from that.
It doesn't seem like the play, which is precisely why I would have them going there. But that is purely a variance call.
Are we gonna get a gamer shot from Sponge? Yes, we are.
Never a doubt. 2 gamers in this race.
Absolutely gamerific. Yeah, only 5 checks would be orphans, whereas you'd still be able to like check. We'll peek the chests in the maze.
Dominic, this is my concern that Machie perhaps mispeaked that big chest. They did look, but Lee identified it as a big chest right away, so I think that they would have also seen it.
You talking about the one in Goron City?
Yes.
Yeah. It's because it also had like the golden gilded look to it, which makes it makes it pop out more easily. Yeah, Chancellor. Sponge is winning right now. For now.
Definitely think Sponge has the upper hand here. They have an item in their possession and have completed the dungeon for that item, that being Boomerang, which Machie has not collected. No one has checked Valley yet. Purple, we're up here to eat crow. We'll give our opinions on who's winning and suffer the consequences.
That's a small chest on the roof. And we know that 1500 doesn't have anything. Well, a bottle. Boomerang was in Goron City left side maze, so it requires a hammer or a second strength.
Diego has the blade of the Ruined King, alright? He's pork, isn't he? I think I saw that patch note. Anyway, taking their blade to Gerudo Fortress area. I'm gonna call the horse, do some horseback archery.
You should be able to get to 1,000 very quickly.
Brando, he had the hover boots, and you can just float right on over and backflip from that crate.
Epona just running straight into a wall. She's basically a god, but as a horse form. And yet she can't handle the slightest of inclines.
Epona or Mr. Ed? I think I'm going with Mr. Ed. Epona's a big dumb sometimes.
And there we go.
1500 being hinted dead. Only need 1,000 points here for horseback archery.
And nothing.
Nothing doing.
And with the amount of HP Machie has, it'd probably be a lot safer to check the valley checks in here. before going into GTG. But either way, it's still going to be fine as long as he sticks around the valley area. Oh, there's something big here.
Big chest bow locked in GTG.
A wallet. That's the second one. So I see Machie's a right side kind of person in GTG. And there's our first key.
My handling of the character is so bad that I make Link look like a drunken sailor at all times within the game. So I had definitely messed with sensitivity to help me. Commenting on chat's discussion there.
Yep. And that takes care of that. And the hammerlock chest in here is dead. We'll see what's locked behind that. That's a key. So we have 2 keys so far.
I don't believe we've seen the hint for the center chest of the training grounds.
We have not. Looks like we're getting a peek now. Oh! And there's 2 keys on this side. There's actually quite a few keys in the maze.
That was not a big chest up above, or a key, I don't believe, above the eye statue.
Neither of those were keys.
Song of Time would be awful nice.
Yeah. It's awful nice, and it could be nice. Oh! There's magic, by the way!
Magic in GTG. Good news for both our runners, especially since Sponge has summoned Epona. Usually a play you see before the runner heads through field and goes to GTG.
Yep. But I think he's more likely going to do a forward to GTG rather than a reverse. And when Sponge gets that magic, he'll probably just head straight into Shadow. Oh, there's strength too. That puts the boomerang into logic, and that gives him even more checks in GTG to do. And spirit.
That's a big pickup there for Sponge, as strength 2 is on the Big Po check. Sponge delivering after an upset in round 1. Playing lights out here thus far in this losers bracket matchup.
There's another key here. Yes, Sponge is indeed too strong. I mean, look at those silver gauntlets.
He's almost 3 strong. The only thing that I could see helping Machie right now is if Sponge does not go to GTG. Using that magic to push the advantage for them, but with just picking up strength 2, I don't see how Sponge puts off
Yes,
GTG
purple.
for very long.
And let's see what's in here. Fairy bottle. So that's bottle number 3. We actually know where all of our bottles are. But I think Sponge is doing Hyrule Field first before going to GTG. There's the second hint for light arrows.
All right, we are gonna see. Oh, voice crack. All right, we're gonna see a Ferore's win set in GTG. Pretty straightforward play here to check the valley.
Second hit for Skull Mask. Oh yeah. It would make sense to have Pierre set up just in case. That's dead.
Nothing on Gerudo Valley's hammer chest. Hammer rocks, sorry.
Yep. I think he's yellowing it. I'm not sure if that's the right angle. It is. Okay. That's just the
Easy every
heart.
time. It is not. Yes. Yes, if you are just joining us here 90 minutes into this match, we have learned that Zelda's Lullaby is on the Ocarina of Time. It is all dungeons. Shadow Temple is on the path to Bongo Bongo, which, if you look at our kit thus far, might make you scratch your head, but could be expecting any number of items that might help us obtain that Zelda's Lullaby. So it could be the Kakiri sword, or the fire, or the hammer, or anything locking those items.
But it looks like Sponge and Machie are going to high five very soon because Machie's going to be in Lake Hylia.
Slapping 5 here then, as I mean, hats off to Machie. You know, just missing that ring. I do like the route. Just a bit of back and forth there. You know, inefficiencies here and there. Giving a little bit of a time advantage to Sponge, and obviously an item advantage there with the boomerang.
And that's for the heart container.
Ooh, don't have golden scale or iron boots there. Cannot check the lab dive. But gonna take this bean over to adult fishing. Magic is on the Stoffels check in GTG.
We've got to make sure we take care of that toucan first. Oh, he's going for the other heart container.
Nothing left to chance for Sponge in this race. Still checking hints. If you can find that 50
Wait,
dead,
Skull Kid was hinted?
Yes. Yeah, another time save for Machie, yes. Sponge learning that he did the chicken's chest and the chicken's check and the skull kid check for not, but I mean
They're pretty quick checks.
pretty quick.
Now we're getting a GTG check from Sponge. I think he's just playing a bit safer now that he's in the lower bracket.
Yes, I would agree. Yep, I think.
And given that he has an execution advantage over Machie, he can do it a bit more safely.
I agree with your take there, Lee. I think Sponge evaluated their strengths and is playing to them in this race. Ooh, that is 5 hearts for Machie. It's a nice good number for hearts.
Now he knows that this chest has nothing, so he's just going to go past. And he gets arrested. But we will get to see 4 new checks on Sponge's side in GTG. And potentially a second Spirit Dip. But I think the Shadow Dip will be more valuable to him.
Yeah, without Serenade, this is basically Machie's best time to go check field.
And Machie's going straight into Shadow because he doesn't have any other choice.
Right, and not doing big pose. Boomerang is in left side of Goron City Maze. We believe that Machie knows it's there, but they have not collected it. Didn't have the bomb bag the first time they were around, and Sponge had the bomb bag and the hovers, which both runners do have, so they were able to collect. Sponge was able to collect the boomerang there.
That was a pretty good execution from Machie. Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, that strength 2 on big pose.
There's the big key right off the bat.
I wouldn't call that the simplest decision for Machie to check big pose, but definitely I would say easily available. So just depends when they would decide to make the choice to execute the check.
And Sponge is just heading back straight into GGG. Strength 2 is on Big Pose, and Magic is on the Stalfos chest in GTG. So Sponge is going to be getting the Magic.
Yeah, the big point here is that is Sponge going to be able to get enough keys to see the center chest? I'm not sure if they will.
And that Big Goron sword does help out in a lot of these battles. So it looks like it's in the center. Because for a while, every single seed now has a fixed position on where the Truth Spinner's True Skull is located.
Mm-hmm. might see furores. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely a furore setup, and then going straight into Shadow. There's something in the center though that's big, but we don't know what it is.
As suspected, an immediate Nocturne. Gonna go right into Shadow, right behind Machie, holding over them a full medallion clear of Jabu Jabu. Things are looking well into Sponge's advantage at this time.
Now we cook the spider. Spiders. Sponge can't exactly beat Shadow quite yet because he doesn't have Zelda's Lullaby for the song. For the boat. Same with Machie. But they could still set up the shortcuts when they get down there. But I think it's wise to pay attention to the new checks on Machie's side. Oh my god. The very tip is armored. And he's running out of arrows. So he's definitely going to need a refresh on that. And to get his shield back.
Yes, Riley, if Sponge jumps into the water at the same time they transition the screen, they'll just be able to...
There's a hammer,
right?
by the way!
That would be the Megaton Hammer.
So that means Fire Temple is now completable.
Yep, we sniffed that one out here in chat. Pretty straightforward that locking a stone dungeon item here in Shadow. That was the path to Bongo Bongo.
Yep, Rang is in Logic due to Big Pose. But it's also in Logic due to Shadow Temple. Either way, the Strength 2 and Hammer don't really lock each other. But they do lock the Boomerang. Dead chest, key chest, and... I think that is dead. But he's still going to grab the skull anyways. Because... 26 skulls. Setting up the void point here. But he's got to be careful not to fall, which shouldn't be a problem for him.
Miguel is on Ocarina of Time. It is an all dungeon siege.
Yep. Yeah, it's probably best to go until you reach the boat.
Ooh. Dispelling the warp point. I like the Moxie of Machie here.
Machie, there.
There it is.
There's another key.
Could be committing to leaving whatever it is in GTG behind that silver block room. Ooh, Sponge not exactly happy, I don't think. Might have just been me projecting. All right, so
There's another key. That is actually number 4.
both runners continuing here.
That is quite true. The hammer will probably lure Machie away from Big Pose.
Yeah, and I think when you go to Shadow with the path as it is, you are committing to whichever dungeon comes next there, whether it be Deku or Fire.
"31 skulls for Sponge, so doing quite well. He's only 9 skulls away from getting those light arrows. Again, it's basically something that they could do at their leisure, just because light arrows is a late game item.
The latest of late game items.
Of course!
Gyptos were hiding nothing there, and a big chest here.
The golden scale!
I was expecting the K sword as well. I don't know why. I was expecting Kokiri sword. Oh, so we are a long shot away from potentially clearing out Water Temple.
We still need the long shot and the Kokiri sword. And the mirror shield.
Yeah, it's a very specific setup arrangement within Water Temple to not need Zelda's Lullaby, but it's happened a few times in this tournament already, so. We'll be a long shot away from that potentiality.
Now, where does Machie go from here?
Yeah, gonna turn in their skulls that they've collected thus far, and then would imagine playing Bolero.
So 40 skulls is the only thing that's valuable so far.
Okay. Redead, Grotto, and Cac.
We've seen this early on Sponge's side, and it was nothing. Not to our knowledge.
Yeah, we have not seen a 50 skulls hint. I don't believe the runners have found one. Ooh. Playing Bolero, thinking second thoughts. I wonder if they head out to field. No.
And Sponge pushing the block to set up the shortcut.
Aha. Gonna top
And
off their
Machie
arrow
Prime-
count.
Yep. Because he used a lot of them in Shadow. And it looks like we're going to be getting double fired now.
Both runners entering fire with the same kit. Only difference is that Machie has 5 hearts compared to the 9 of Sponge.
Yep.
Oh, slugs.
Oh.
Clutch it out.
Quarter of a heart. So he's got to be extremely prudent. Otherwise...
That's a confirmed clincher right there. Whew.
And the keys are only dropping arrows.
Pretty rude.
Oh!
Couldn't grab that.
Not the fairy.
It does have a fairy, though.
But still, that is pretty gross.
I found that fairy in a bottle at the eye statue chest in GTG.
$33 tokens for Sponge. Need bombs? Rupees. Or how about need hearts? Arrows! Because, Ocarina of Time is quite a fickle game, isn't it? Thankfully, we do have 2 keys so far.
We'll see how high they have to climb here within Fire Temple, and if Volvagia is open early, if either of our runners decides to go deeper within the fire. But it all depends upon the key layout here, so nothing really to talk about as far as decisions right now, because we are, well, hunting for a boss key. There it is.
Yep.
Got him in the chat. Machie answering the question, gonna waste no time saving and quitting. Gonna kill that boss. Then we'll see what they decide afterwards.
It looks like Sponge is going for the other check in here.
Sponge covering their bases. Make this other check.
Well,
No.
it absolutely hard required to finish Volvagia this early to get to the top.
Volvagia will have a key.
Yep. He has to. Well, she has to. Well, thankfully, Volvagia is a little easier knowing about the second hit box.
That's right. 1 bomb, stun. 3 bombs, stun. 3 more bombs. And
Should kill.
that's
There
a
we
kill.
go.
Nicely done by Machie.
And we're going to see it for a second time on Sponge's side.
I can see their webcam on their individual streams. Bit of a sigh of relief there for Machie. I think they were concerned about their Fire Temple play. So
Oh, we're
it's always
getting
good to
2
get it done.
scratches.
Whew. Haha.
There we go.
Lovely.
Having enough chews and then having the big Goron sword makes this fight so much faster.
Sponge showing how it's done with the chews and the biggie.
Absolute gamer moment here.
And Machie saying no thank you to the rest of Fire, which seems to be the standard call.
Yeah. And Sponge is going back into the Fire Temple, though I think it's because he's much lower on checks.
Could also be using furores.
Yeah, definitely furores. And I think that was just... Yep. You'll be going into Goron City, and I think you'll be picking up his boomerang.
It's good news for Machie. Still a full Jabu completion behind. They've already trekked once to Zora's domain to hand in the letter, so not going to be feeling great when they see the ring there.
Yep. Let's see. The other scale was in Shadow Temple. And now we'll get to see what's in the 4 chests here. Sponge will also be picking up that bottle. I am kind of curious on what's on Lap Dive. Even though it's pretty clear that the hammer is the path.
Yeah, but I think we have a hinted scale path. Is that
That was
accurate?
just for one of them. That was to get the slingshot.
Oh. Hmm.
And that is our only way to finish up Jabu. True.
Oh. Machie walking past the check they need to make in the wrong age. Strength 2 is hiding at the big pose turn in.
It would... The slingshot, yeah, would be... doesn't matter for Spirit Key Logic if the ring is already available with Strength 2 or Hammer.
So it is important to note that behind the silver block push, there was nothing that's going to further Sponge's advantage, but
Yeah,
there is a big
Lap
chest
Dive.
in the center of GTG.
This actually might be Machie's advantage here
Could be.
for a bit. Whether or not he'll get that Strength 2 remains to be seen.
Yeah, this is glitchless with a handful of approved tricks. Yeah, stalwart of the Zelda community, ZFG does run no logic. A far different race than what we were seeing here.
Though there are There is monthly for DDR or dungeon door requirements, but I still don't believe those are in no logic.
Who needs to talk about a cheater like that, though, when we've got number 13 Sponge versus number 45 Machie in a race, an elimination race here in the lower bracket?
I am still pretty psyched to see what's in the middle chest, in the center chest, because let's see what's on Lap Dive. There's the mirror shield!
All right. Chat had sniffed it out as we are approaching a happy 2 hours. Everyone, thank you for joining us here at Zelda Speedruns. Hope you have enjoyed the first 2 hours of this race as we see
A slingshot.
another slingshot in the center of GTG. Thank you for the commands in chat there. Lee, you want to take it away this time, giving our shout outs?
Yeah. Thank you to my co-commentator, Hagmania, and to our trackers, Mad Monk Adam and Dominic, and to our runners, Salty Sponge and Machie. And I think the restreamer deserves some love too.
Yes, my apologies for failing to shout that out first. Lee, who is our restreamer?
Zyndine.
Ooh, I would have thought that was Zinedine.
It's either that or I'm just fine dining.
Oh, 2 hours in, Lee, I know what we should talk about now. Hockey. Everyone wants to talk about hockey about 2 hours into a race, right? No, I'm kidding. Slow your roll, chat. We're not going to get all started up.
That sounds like something Vidya James would do. And Sponge failing the trick, but hopefully that means that he's pushed a bit further away from that. He is going to be going into Spirit Temple. Unfortunately, his mirror shield is on Lap Dive. So each of our runners has something for Spirit Temple. Sponge can access Adult, but he can't finish it. Machie has the item required to finish it, but he can't access it as Adult. Quite an interesting dilemma we have here. But neither of them have ZL, so they won't be able to do 4 checks within this dungeon.
Poppy Grunt, thank you so much for the rate of 85. Welcome, welcome. We are 2 hours and 2 minutes in to this lower bracket action. Lee, I'm sorry for cutting you off. Please continue.
Yeah, well, they're going to be missing out on 4 ZL lock checks in Spirit Temple, which would be Compass Chests, the 2 lobby chests, one on the hand, one near Adult Side Climb, and Boss Key Chest.
Indeed. But a K sword here, a Kakiri sword here in Spirit Temple would really cement Sponge's lead, I think. The longer that she does not have that strength 2, the further away from the goodies, the treasures within the Spirit Temple.
Ooh, something big in Spirit.
Pause.
And it's the Stone of Agony. The one thing that causes agony.
Agonizing indeed for all involved, except for the humor of our audience.
Oh, wait, Sponge, you can't do that. Oh, never mind. I was just
No
worried.
ZL to do that check.
But he can grab the skull in here.
Very true. Yes, if you are just tuning in, thank you so much. We have learned that it is Zelda's Lullaby on Ocarina of Time and 40 skulls for the light arrows with no 50 skull hint to be found. And the runners have made all the usual checks of hints.
And it looks like Sponge forgot that he did this room. I think it was just muscle memory because it's quite often that you might get strength 2 pretty early.
Gonna reevaluate things here.
He's definitely confused here. Not sure what's going on. Whereas Machie is just finishing off Japu. Actually catching up now. Oh, I see. He's just checking his notes.
Perhaps the first sign of any sort of pressure on former grand finalist Sponge facing elimination after a round 1 loss.
Controller issues.
Oh, that's not good.
I can relate.
Well then.
Maybe not in the same way, depending on what kind of controller he uses.
Hopefully everything's on the up and up for them now, as Sponge heads deeper into Spirit. Oh, this is not good.
Yep, it looks like he's recalibrating it.
Never the way you want to see time given back. I'm not sure if it is FPA-able. Yeah, it probably is. I would have to imagine. My apologies for not knowing the full rules there.
It looks like Sponge is back on track. This controller issues could be a huge distraction, whether it's just playing casually or in a serious race like this. He's just gonna rub up on one of the Armos here to get into mirror chest. And there's one key here. Oh. That means one of the keys is locked behind Mirror Shield, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so going to be returning to their warp point here in GTG and running out. I think Sponge has...
I think he used all of his chews when he was fighting Volvagia.
Ah, yes, yeah. I believe they've also divined that lab dive is a worthy check.
Alright, he got it. But he's not going to be very satisfied of that. Let's see if he gets this one too. Nope. Not quite. But I do have to say that that first one he did get, although it was a second try. But this is definitely tempting him away from doing a waterfall, which is what we need. And that means he'll be making his way back into Spirit immediately. And if we find a long shot, we could just do almost everything in water except for Central Pillar. Waterfall is dead. Because Machie didn't seem to go for it at all.
Alright, straight back to Requiem. Here for Sponge. Waterfall is nothing.
Oh wait, there could also be a key on any of the ZL lock checks because we weren't able to check those. We aren't able to check those for now. And if that's the case, then the Kokiri sword can't be any further in spirits.
Ah, because it would be locked by ZL. I see.
Yep. Yeah, K-sword could be just about anywhere.
Well, you wouldn't want to do Ice Cavern for Kokiri sword.
Not at all. Ice and Well are off the cards. And Song of Time probably is too. Yeah, it is actually off the table. So it is ZL locked. That means Spirit Temple can't have Kokiri sword. Lake wasn't did. There was Dodongo's Cavern Path to Twin Rova, which had a scale. Ooh. Having a
That
little
cycle on the climb as Machie collects their 35th skull.
Yep.
And we've still to see a 50 skull hint.
Center of GTG was just another slingshot.
Yeah, Sponge took those silver gauntlets. Ooh.
Let's see what it could be here. Oh wait, I was wrong. I'm wrong. Okay, I admit I was wrong.
That was Kokiri sword. That is.
I miscounted the keys.
That's a big
So,
deal there.
Yeah. I miscounted my keys.
Well, you know who didn't miscount their keys? That would be the Salty Sponge. Taking another big advantage here with the Kokiri sword.
Make a good use of the Z targets, too. But with Deku Tree on the table, he can now just grab Zelda's Lullaby, and he can finish off Shadow. He'll still need to find the long shots, at least. And maybe
Aha!
angles.
Did not.
Oh, I see. The big key is locked behind ZL.
Whoopsie. Had us all frazzled with the small keys. Didn't even consider the boss key.
Yeah. Well, I think there might be something in the Deku Tree, and anything that's ZL locked.
Oh. I'm sorry, what was that hint, Dominic? I missed that. So is that Vanilla Irons in Ice Cavern?
Is that so? Well,
Totally missed that check then.
Rush Ice, I guess.
Well, you could. Hmm.
But it's safe to say that the Mirror Shield blocks the Kukuri Sword.
All right, a check we've not seen. Treasure chest game. Chat's second favorite guessing game.
I'm gonna put my bet in right now.
I'm always team right. Ooh.
So was Alex. But it looks like I lost. And anyone who's done all right is also out. It's alternating for now.
The Herald pair is out, and I'm not sure we have anyone left in.
RLLR L. That was another bow. And it was scummed.
Ooh, subconscious hint to Machie. You need that. You need a bow for the check that you need. Ah, going back to spirit. Not sure why.
Oh, I think he's doing a Wasteland chest. Because he can do that as child if you reverse, but it's wildly out of logic.
Can't imagine this is a check you see often as child. But we're here for it.
Yeah, of course.
And
You
a
could
skull.
also grab a cheeky skull. Looks like the tree is fairly barren right now. And
Yeah, another strength here would be very good for Machie.
oh yeah. Now with hover boots and Epona's song, it would still be in logic. Something big in the basement though. Take that.
Is this our long shot? Nope.
Nope, fire arrows. Doesn't really do anything for us now. Oh!
Big chest.
Eek. There's all of our slingshots. Chef's kiss.
There is a chance, but it is dwindling by the second, Challenge Wall. Machie really hurting now, missing out on that strength 2.
And that long shot could be just about anywhere. But Sponge can just clean up Shadow and Spirit because, well, both of those dungeons are nearly full cleared.
We could probably get a bet going for the long shot if we wanted.
Yeah. There's the second shield.
Ooh, deep fire for Machie, perhaps.
Yep, it looks like it's a commitment to fire. The only thing it could possibly have at this point is long shot. But there's still other candidates in Ice Cavern, the rest of Spirit Temple, and the rest of Shadow Temple. Heck, it could even be in water.
Oof.
Although, with 4 checks, it's pretty unlikely.
Scooby, this seed really depends on the long shot location, I would say. Been a pretty good seed. A very early knowledge this would be all dungeons, that there would be light arrows on 40 skulls. Only thing still evading us is a 50 skull hint. A lot of items on the way or in early, pretty standard early checks. What's being mean for Machie really is a case of early routing decisions and just the variability of having a bomb bag before going into Goron City the first time for Sponge versus Machie not having it. And really Sponge's advantage kind of, radiates from that point, really, where they were able to get the ring and not have to travel upriver twice. A few things there, and now strength 2 on the big pose check that Machie has not done. Really the main factors here, I would say. But Machie, to their credit, he's run a good race with a couple of backtracks here and there. I think Machie's run a really good race. I think if I were rooting for Machie, as Sponge Lines is just in their bow, if I were rooting for Machie, I'd want to see them go to Ice Cavern out of logic. That might be the only way they could shortcut something here. They might find other strength, and the long shot and the iron boots. That would be about their best variance play here. They are in fire, which Sponge is not, so that's good for them.
Also, thank you for the raid, Zelda Speedruns 2.
Yes, hello Raiders. We are 2 hours and 22 minutes in as I was, giving a soliloquy of the race thus far. Thank you for joining us. I'll let Lee talk for a couple seconds instead of hearing my tired old voice.
But when it comes for this race, we're just looking for that long shot.
Ooh, MMR Mystery Tournament. Well, welcome in. Please, no spoilers. Alright. Sponge going to go for Hyrule Castle 2 hints? Sponge?
Hyrule Castle Ferry.
Oh, no! He did just pick up ZL, so he can get the Hyrule Castle Ferry. Yeah, I wouldn't say he was worried about that 50
long
skull
shot
hint.
just about anywhere.
Yep. Yes, as you were raiding in, you may have seen Sponge pick up the Ocarina of Time and learn Zelda's Lullaby that was an all-dungeon seed.
Choose!
The first ZL choice, or the first ZL check they made was just some chews.
It's not worth it for Sponge, at least. Is this the part where he goes adult, or probably? And something big in the fire temple. See, that's the long shot.
Long shot. Oh, that's a big one for Machie. Ooh, all right.
He's still missing out on that strength too, but he is running out of checks, so he will eventually find it.
Couple of gamers having a race right here, folks.
But that's going to be a while for Sponge because he's got Shadow and Spirit to complete.
Yeah, obviously it's very good for Machie, but Sponge is definitely ahead on progression.
Yep.
It's going to be a good while before they start giving back any time on this check to Machie, because we know Sponge is going to relentlessly pursue these medallions. Into the Shadow Temple he goes. Yes, and Machie is giving back time here by continuing on into Deepest of Fires.
Yeah. Though in his shoes,
Well, yeah.
he's still missing like the one thing that can really help him out. And that would be his second strength, and we haven't found any. But if there's another one in Fire Temple, then it still helps out.
Lee, that had me sitting straight up in my chair when that long shot got pulled.
I was just super excited to actually see it. It's crazy that Deep Fire would actually have something today.
I need to bust out the popcorn for the end of this race.
On top of being an AD 40 Skull Seed, it's also a Deep Fire one too.
Doesn't really feel too grueling yet either. We are just 2 hours and 26 minutes into the race.
Yeah, a lot of these seeds are around that pace. But we're gonna see new checks from both ends. Compass chest was nothing. I just like how highest Goron is the closest check that's within the bet. Because everything else is just a bit further away.
Unfortunately for Machie, the boss key is not available before you get ZL in Spirit Temple. That would definitely been a little bit of a time save for them.
Ah, yes, and then there's the second pot room in Shadow, which has
Big
a skull.
chest.
Big! Second magic! They don't lock each other.
Okay. Well, that's wild.
Actually, yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They do lock each other.
Explain, please, Lee.
You need to get the magic to go into Shadow Temple, and that's hammer locked all the way up in highest Goron for the second magic.
Aha! Thank you.
I just remembered. This is crazy. We don't know if Central Pillar is dead or not.
Sponge, having prepared the shortcut, is already in the back portions of the Shadow Temple.
Oh! We get to see it!
Is Machie summoning a horse?
Horse summoning activated.
Calling Epona. That's good. It's very good. All right, go sell that big Poe. Let's see what Machie makes out of this strength too. I would have to imagine it's an immediate requiem. Kakiri sword is mirror shield locked in spirit.
Yup. That is the Shadow Medallion for Sponge. You'll be grabbing the Spirit one soon. But it looks like Machie is going straight into Water Temple first.
Aha. Oh, interesting.
But he can only really do 2 checks. Nope.
Okay,
Never mind.
I'm gonna change their mind.
It's because I don't think he wants to do it without CL, because he can only do map chest and compass. No, just map chest.
Machie, I think Machie feels every right that they are right in this race. I would say that they are lagging a little bit, but they are still in this race. Any time given back to them is dangerous for Sponge.
And now we'll be getting that Spirit Medallion. And there's only like 4 items left in Spirit. How long until Sponge goes back into fire? That is a very good question.
That is the question of the race.
Because now he has plenty of other places that are available. Like Ice Cavern.
I am curious if Sponge will continue picking up skulls past 40. I think you might be
Probably
right.
not.
Probably not.
I know that a lot of these runners usually don't do a lot of skulls when they're not explicitly hinted.
It's fair. Was that the check? So the hint for irons in Ice Cavern, that was in Zora's fountain, I think.
There's the boss key chest. So technically, both Shadow and Spirit were locked by...
Machie is going to be able to go mode Deku.
Yep.
It's a bit of a time save.
Sponge at 38 skulls. And I think the 2 closest skulls he can approach are within Hyrule Field and Kakariko Village at night. As adults.
I do think that the double dip in Spirit is the grossest thing about this seed. The Shadow double dip is pretty tolerable, but the Spirit double dip is pretty feels bad.
Yep. Because with the Shadow dip, you can at least open up to the shortcut.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with Spirits, you have a few checks that you are forced to orphan.
Indeed. We do not have a hint for Central Pillar. But Machie does know where the irons are. They are vanilla within Ice Cavern. Welcome in, Raiders. Thank you for joining us. We are 2 hours and 34 minutes into this race. Sponge, Salty Sponge, our 13 seed, does have a time advantage, has time on their side, but once they finish with progression, the clock starts ticking for them to go to the shortcut chest in Fire Temple.
Especially with how early that boss key was in Fire Temple, and that you absolutely needed to beat Volvagia to get there.
What? Here, Machie, you. What do you think when you get this Kakiri sword? Oh gosh. Oof. Probably muttering a couple curses under your breath and just persevering.
Yeah, that's true. There's like a good 10% chance that Central Pillar has the BK. But it looks like Machie has hit go mode on his button, on his tracker. Because he knows where Iron Boots are. He also knows the light arrows, of course. But I'm not sure if he could just, if he'll just do gold scale water.
Oh, I definitely think after retrieving Zelda's Lullaby, you go straight for. I think you clear out Shadow. No, you know the irons are there. I do wonder what the play is there. What order makes the most sense? Still a lot of progression left for Machie to do. I mean, we are hyped for them finding that long shot, but they do need some time given back to them in a hunt for the long shot there by Sponge. The hint for irons were in Zora's Fountain. Okay. That's 5 medallions. Sponge, what is the call?
Yeah. Not much left he can do. There's Fire Temple, Ice Cavern, the rest of the bottom of the well.
First, they'll check this fairy
Yep.
fountain.
And probably Wasteland chest, because he's got Dins ready.
You'd imagine. And I think that'll be skull number 40.
Yeah.
Then they'll swing on down to the Skull House, and from there we'll see the decision.
Oh. Machie's going straight down, because, you know, go mode.
Yep. Having just got ZL, the fairy fountain checks would lead him right next to fire.
That's number 40 for Machie.
Alright, so that is light arrows for Machie once he turns that in.
Yup. It's safe to say that it truly is irrelevant now. And Sponge will be picking up his last slingshot. as well as another skull,
Oh, that was
leading him
39.
to 39.
Yep. Get the final skull here on top of Cack roof and grab the light arrows.
Yeah, they really do make it look easy. But then again, since they were light arrows, it's not much of a hassle compared to if it's required very early on. Because you'll get a few seeds that are actually like that.
Oh, it is nice. It is nice for Sponge. They picking up Prelude. Yes, the clock is now ticking for our 13 seed here, the Salty Sponge. Sponge needs to find the long shot in the shortcut chest of the Fire Temple.
Yeah. The
The
problem is he has so many options to choose from.
That's right.
And he might decide to go to Ice Cavern first or anywhere else. But we'll see where this. Yep, that's a Nocturne play, so. You can see where that leads us, because I think he might. Okay. He's grabbing the song here. And all he'll get is double defense in Royal Tomb. As well as,
This will confirm the song in Ice Cavern.
Yep.
Alright, so we'll be watching Machie go through the machinations of medallion progression, unless they choose to dip into Water Temple and see about the Bosky situation.
Yeah. Well, technically, logically required for Go mode, but unless it's 90% Go mode, the only catch would be if Central Pillar has the boss key chest. If not, then it is Go mode for Machie. But he knows where it is too.
Alright, that's Serenade on the Sun Song check. I'm not sure if that was known information or not, but I just learned it now that it was Serenade on the.
Yep. It's
Oh.
So it's either ice or fire, and it's not fire.
Looking like fairy into ice.
Yep. I think he's doing both fairy plays or something.
Alright, Machie zipping through the rest of Spirit Temple here. Oh, forgetting that they
Oh.
had.
He was forgetting about Compass Chest.
Yep.
He must have been pretty excited, because I know that feeling. Where you just rush in for a few certain checks. Well, thankfully he'll get the chance to just ignore this chest. I believe so. If that's the case, then... yeah. Light arrows were on pretty skulls. Oh, strength! That's... oh my gosh. That's our
Another-
third strength.
Yet another fairy fountain for Sponge to check.
Oh no. But I'm pretty sure he's going... Oh, he's just gonna grab this one skull first. Long shot was in shortcut chest in Fire Temple.
And double magic was at highest score on.
Magic was highest score on, and that is magic locked. Yeah, this is definitely an Ice Cavern play.
Alright. Gonna long shot up here to the platform and go kill Twin Rova.
It looks like Sponge is going for 50 skulls.
Yeah, this is something that I was wondering about.
So I was wrong.
We don't know the minds of the runners. Nothing to be ashamed about being wrong there. Yeah, Sponge is waiting for that long shot to appear.
Oh yeah, the 100th skull, which people normally refer to as the one in Zor's Fountain.
Machie does have his Furor's Wind set at the boat.
Yeah.
Or right before it. I think they may have actually... Or did they reset it after the pod?
He set it up in there.
Oh,
it's
now Sponge.
The Iron Boots are, so he'll
Sponge
at least
reads the check.
he'll at least get his boots.
We're looking at... So what we're looking at is finishing off Shadow Temple for Machie. We believe that Furor's Wind has been set, versus clearing out Ice Cavern for Sponge, and then they are at parity, except that Sponge will have the Iron Boots and need the long shot. So Sponge will need to go into Fire Temple, which is their best play after Ice, I would think.
Yeah.
Oh, it does also get them Song of Time as well. I think we do know that the river chest is... We got a hint for river chest, right? That was small key? Or am I misremembering?
It was boss key chest.
Oh, boss key chest, okay. The lights are on 40 skulls, hinted early on at Temple of Time. Yes, Furor's Wind set at the boat here for Machie. This is great news for them. I thought they may have been a bit further behind. Alright. Okay, we have a race here, folks. Machie knows what they need to finish the game. They know that if they go into Water Temple with the long shot and the golden scale, they've got about a 10 to 15% chance that they will need to go into Ice Cavern. Sponge knows where the Iron Boots are, knows where Song of Time is here in Ice Cavern, but does not have the long shot, which Machie found in the Fire Temple at the shortcut chest. 50 skulls was never found. The 50 skulls hint was never found by either runner. And we've seen Sponge push beyond 40. Yeah, Machie does not know that Song of Time is in Ice Cavern. I don't believe there was any hint for that, but he will get the Royal Tomb coming out of Shadow.
That is 45 skulls for Sponge. We don't know what's on 50, but we assume that it's most likely junk. Because
it is junk in terms of the race, but it has not been found as a hint.
Yeah. Nothing useful. I think that's the best way to put it.
It's basically the nightmare scenario in the favorites in the favorites position here. Oh, Machie is going into the bongo fight. Wow.
Yeah. It's all caught up now. Iron Boots is hinted on in Ice Cavern, which is vanilla. So yeah, they're both basically on the same page here. But might still need to go into the Ice Cavern just so you could get Song of Time for what's on River Chest. It's 46 skulls for Sponge. Man, this is quite a nail biter.
That is 5 medallions for Machie. And they are primed and ready to go check out what the situation is for Boss Key in the Water Temple.
You need long shot in order to beat Morpha logically. But for every other check, we have hover boots to do most of it.
Sponge is going to unfreeze King Zora.
But we know that Sponge is going to unfreeze King Zora first before we know what his next play will be. But there's a good chance that he might dip water before going into fire again.
Alright, what does Sponge do after King Zora?
That's a water dip. That is going to... At least we'll get...
Not
at
great.
least we'll know where the boss key is. But that's about it.
There is zero risk. Yes, zero risk here. You have to find the boss key in Water Temple.
I don't think he saw it because that was on shortcut chest, and Sponge left after he got the big key because the third small key was on
No, Machie does have the Iron Boots hint. They found it in Zora's Fountain first, actually. Small key.
That is one. We know where one of them is.
We are on the verge of an upset here in the lower bracket.
Yep. And Machie is setting up for Roar's Wind, just in case he finds the big key. Yep, Central Pillar or River Chest are the worst case scenarios for Machie. Sponge has two small keys, River Chest and Shellblade Chest. It really is a nail biter.
This one is coming down to percentage chances here of where the boss key is in the water temple. And even yet, Sponge still needs to find that long shot.
That's another small key, so we know where four of them are. Speaking of Central Pillar, we're taking a good look at that now.
Alright. This is the Central Pillar check. Sponge has the iron boots. Machie does not. Machie knows where the iron boots are.
But Sponge doesn't know where the iron boots are.
Sponge doesn't know where the long shot is.
I mean, yeah, the iron long shot. My bad. Long shot was in Fire Temple shortcut chest. The iron long shot
Needs to craft a few more links in the hook shot with the iron from his boots.
Yes.
Gut wrencher for Sponge there. We'll continue on and see if it is locked by Song of Time.
Oh, that's another small key. We have 5 small keys out of 6.
And if you're Machie here, you have to be feeling that you found a pretty good way through this seed. You did a little bit of backtracking here and there. You put off that strength 2 check on Big Pose for a little bit. But you do know that you've not seen Sponge finish. There is a chance.
There's Dragon Chest we haven't seen yet.
We've learned that Machie's motto is Viego from League of Legends. He wields the Blade of the Ruined King. His child model was Sephiroth. Kid Sephiroth. All right. We're all holding our collective breaths here. This would be quite unthinkable for Sponge to drop back-to-back games here in Season 6. But we're looking at that as a real possibility.
Yep.
Is it behind Dark Link? It is not!
Oh.
Oh, we have a friggin' race. That is...
Ice absolutely required.
That is Ice Cavern required. Now, where does Sponge go? Where does Sponge go to find that long shot? Yep. Colloquially known as a World Tour bridge. Bottom of the well might have been bait.
Nope.
That could be correct. Oh,
It's
was it not?
Dragon Chest.
Oh, it's Dragon! Oh!
I'm pretty sure this can be done without Iron Boots.
Oh, he doesn't know the trick.
Yep.
Ah.
And,
Okay, well, I mean, so still, Sponge has to find the long shot. Sponge is going to OGC.
yep. It's OGC, and then he's probably going to go to the most check-dense place he knows. Fire Temple.
Machie is climbing on the horse.
Let's see.
I'm not sure.
What kind of play is conducive to this? I must know.
Alright, a rock has been yeeted. Sponge will be playing ZL. Oh, did he forget the hint? That is unfortunate. Oh,
He's going to GTG.
a heartbreaker there.
And there it is. Sponge's play.
Bolero of Fire into the Fire Temple.
It's over.
Oh boy. Sponge is going to clinch this one out.
Yep.
May have misread the hint. Oh, final treasure of GTG instead of final treasure of Ice Cavern.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Yep. Vanilla Irons. But Sponge just barely clutching this.
Yep, also worth noting that Sponge may have been playing with a broken controller for part of the time.
Yeah. It was quite ubiquitous within Spirit Temple.
Oh, man.
And I think, like we said earlier, about 3 hours ago, whoever wins this is up against either G-Skate or Juke.
So Finton, we may have Forever Finton, we may have spoken a bit too soon. We're not sure.
But yeah, Dragon Chest with Gold Scale plus Choose. I'm not sure if he's had any Choose, but basically, if he can just line up the Chew to hit the Dragon Switch and then dive right when it hits the Switch, then he should be able to reach. That would actually would have led to him winning.
As it stands, though, we seem to have interpreted a misread of a hint here by Machie, perhaps misreading the final treasure of Ice Cavern as the final treasure of Gerudo Training Grounds.
Yep. And there is the disappointment. Whereas Sponge will be blowing up that part of the floor.
Yep, there's the Bolero. Ah, Machie.
Except it's not a Rush Ice play, although if given the opportunity, I absolutely would. But it's illegal. You could get arrested for that in this tournament.
Alright, that is go mode for Sponge. So they will need to kill Morpha.
Yep.
And kill Ganon. Well, you could say Sponge was bailed out. I would counter that they've put in enough time into this game that they know all the tricks. They can route this seed in the way that best plays to their strengths, and that is what Sponge has done.
Plus, his Go Mode item was just in Fire Temple.
That is correct. Yes, and also a very good point. Another skill, another certain skill of rando racing is information management. However you want to call that. Resource management. You know, that one of those things being information, while progressing through the seed. I do think that Sponge would have won the race if Machie bailed for ice. It would be a lot closer, obviously, but I do think that is the case. Alright, that was a Morpha. That was a Morpha kill. Blink and you miss it. That is all medallions for the Salty Sponge. They're going to summon the bridge and cross to Ganon's tower.
Though I'm very certain that his next opponent will be closer to his familiarity with these tricks too.
Yes, let's talk about that, Lee. Who will Sponge have coming up next?
I don't think it's been decided yet, has it?
So it's not. So it'll be the loser of a match then in the winners bracket here.
It's the loser between Juke and G Skate.
Whew! A tall order.
Yep. So it's going to be a rather stacked. It'll be pretty stacked.
That's a couple of fantastic runners there. Juke and G-Skate. Woo!
And that match is taking place on Saturday.
It's a consequence of losing your first round matchup. Having to play tough opponents all throughout the loser bracket.
We actually have a lot of matches on Saturday. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 matches. So I am hoping that you're all ready to see them.
Yeah, people saying, and I don't disagree that Top 64 is stacked, but I think the perspective here is that the community has evolved in their race times such that any collection of runners that play this game regularly is going to have a stacked field. Huh. 10 matches, 1 monitor. I appreciate the dedication there, Baja Thresh.
"10 matches, 1 monitor." I don't think all of them are going to be restreamed on ZSR. Just because that is still a lot of resources, including volunteers.
Speaking of which, we did pass our 3-hour mark, I believe, and if Lee said it, I'm sorry. I was drained by the happenings of the 3-hour threshold there. Let's give a big shout out to the foregone winner here, Sponge, first of all, and then with a wonderful showing, Machie, unfortunately not knowing an Ironsless Dragon Chest check trick seems to be costing them the most time here at the end of this run. I'd like to thank Lee Harold, for myself, Hagmania, here commentating here in the booths. Our trackers today, Mad Monk and Adam, doing a little bit of double duty there at the very beginning, and then Dominic joining in, thank you very much, doing all the heavy lifting. Our restreamer was Zinedine. We see Sponge dispatching Ganondorf, heading into the Ganon fight, as Machie now has the Song of Time and Iron Boots. We're ready for a Ganon fight, Lee. Take us through it.
Well, here we go. You'll become a huge pig. And, we'll say goodbye to that Master Sword, Link. You'll be tenderizing that meat now with your beloved hammer. So all you have to do is just get underneath his legs and stab his tail to tenderize the meat. Phase 1 down.
Machie poking up in the chat there. Good game, sir.
Yeah, we're on a 20-minute delay. Well, our runners are, so they'll get to see the last part. Just cutting up the bacon so we can serve it for the chat. And there we go. Get your GGs in chat.
A hard-fought victory for the Salty Sponge, our 13 seed. Gonna be moving on into loser bracket round 2 over Machie, the 45 seed.
Yep. And that was so close, but Sponge will be making it past into the second round.
A salty finish from the Salty Sponge, I think. GG to Sponge.
You'll need the classic controller. Yeah, and they're in the waiting room right now.
We'll be joined here shortly as we watch Machie finish up. And we are joined in the booth here by our racers, both Sponge and Machie. Good game, well played.
GG's.
Yeah, GG.
GG Machie.
I just learned
match.
there was a trick to go to the dragon chest.
Yeah, with choosing gold scale.
With two? No, I mean I know how to do the room, but how to get it when I dive from the bottom floor? Oh no, I'm just stupid. I forget I could just dive.
Yeah, you can just press A and
yeah, I know how to do the room. I just forget I could just dive to go to the room.
Oh man.
Oh man. Also I misread iron boots.
Okay, yeah, that's I was wondering, and then I'm like, oh no, this makes perfect sense actually.
How many time did you lose Sponge with your controller?
How much time? I mean, I stopped playing for like maybe 30 seconds because I wanted to FPA and then like try and see if like I could fix it, because generally like unplugging it and plugging it back in the past has fixed it. But it just wasn't doing anything at all. So I actually unplugged it and plugged in the backup controller, which had a fucked C stick. So that was fun.
Backup controller strats from Sponge. Not missing a beat.
It's totally my bad, I guess.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was like, oh, I don't have I can go to the dragon chest room. I don't have iron boots, and forget just scale is enough.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, it happens. Also, I lost since I last location F2. Lost strength 2 was so hard to get.
That makes sense. When I picked that up, I was like, okay, this is just normal. You do this on your way to GTG, right? But then I remember, oh, well, what if you are a cool guy and you reverse the GTG really early out of logic? Just cause
yeah, I did. I got Epona, but I wanted to do reverse, so after cleaning GTG, I did a valley and the lake and a refill south, since I already did a refill north. That's why.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good route actually. Did you have gold scale the first time you went to lake?
No, I did. I got the magic, then finishing valley, lake, etc. And then I found the golden scale in shadow.
Okay. Because the only reason I ever found the mirror shield was because I failed the recoil from the crate to the waterfall. So I'm like, hey, I'm in the water, I might as well check lab dive, and that would have really hurt me a lot if
happens.
Yeah.
I thought I was kinda scary because when I found the slingshot in child, while behind the scale, I was like, oh yeah, so it's just something is spirit child, maybe bake, and I found nothing except. I was like, oh no, there is one check in logic, is the first check in Jabu. I was like, no, I don't want to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the letter early and like I had the option to just turn it in, but I'm like, ADZL, like, I'm sorry, first check in Jabu. If you're required, I'm just gonna throw my hands up and say that's it, man.
No one's want to go. You at least without magic and Pharaoh.
Yeah, definitely.
Great breakdown, guys. really, really insightful comments here from you two. Great race, obviously. My questions about this coming into an elimination game, does that change your style of play any? Does it alter your mindset going into the race? So what is that like, playing elimination games?
I don't know. I just play like usual.
I don't know. I feel more relaxed than playing in a winner's bracket game because it's like, I don't know, if I bust her out, it's so what? I don't have to play anymore. So I don't know. It's like whatever happens happens at this point. Like everyone's good. Shouldn't say that. Everyone's good, but it's you never know who is gonna sneak up on you. So it's if you lose, you lose. And I was looking at the end of the race, and it looked like it was like really, really close. Like we were both in water at the same time, apparently, at the end. Except I didn't have the long shot yet. When did you pick that up?
Because since I found literally strength 2 after fire.
Oh,
so I did all fire. And then there was only 3 check remaining. Shoot the sun, big pose, and 50 skull.
Oh, that reminds me. You guys want to know what's on 50?
Everything else was behind strength 2, so Kokiri Sword, and I was go mode before getting what's the name? Zelda Lullabies.
Yes, Zelda's Lullaby, yeah.
What's on 50 skulls? I must know.
It's a piece of heart.
Oh, you found the hint.
No, I didn't.
Oh. Probably.
Yeah, so I was at 48 when I finished. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna test my controller, see if it's broken. I need a new one. But I just got 50 and checked it. But yeah, that makes sense. Get A instead of B, and the seed works out differently for you. So it's like because you didn't have strength 2, it led you to long shot faster. That makes sense.
Yeah. Sad, I forgot. I just if only the big key was somewhere else. Unlucky.
Yeah.
It's totally my bad too. So since I forget, it could just dive to go to the recon chest room.
Yeah, that's okay.
For some reason, I forget.
Yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow, Machie. We found ourselves jumping straight up in our seats when you found that long shot. You really had a shot there at the end. Unfortunate end for you in this race, but Sponge, a tough competitor. I do have one more question about the beginning of the seed. You found the 40 skulls hint right there at Temple of Time, I think. So, and we saw both of you, aggressively go after skulls. When we, us dum-dums here in the commentary booth thought, you might take it a bit easier, kind of passively collecting those skulls. Was that a choice to rush to 20 there, or did you think you were just playing your regular game?
Since I know it was an edit 2, I was like, I'm just routing everything, and I'm gonna rush kind of fast 20, and then slow the 20 last.
Yeah, that makes sense. Sponge, anything different there?
For me, generally, it's when your light arrows are on skulls, you take the bottle skulls out of the equation, because they're generally never worth it. So you basically do your normal skull routing, like I said, except you take away like all the annoying ones, like bottle skulls, valley skulls if it's not night. Like you basically plan on getting every single dungeon skull you possibly can, unless maybe fire, you don't count those. And if you find yourself like having less than you want in the later game, then you start getting it, because the item layout is everything when it comes to skull seeds.
So we didn't get 50 ints, so it was just in case.
Yeah, I was scared. I'm like, oh, is this one of those seeds again? So I turned in 40, and I'm like, I guess I should start getting every skull I can in case it's 50.
Yeah, a good game to Machie there, as we see you finishing up on Restream. Lee, any other questions for you? I think I'm done. I'll shut up now. Thank you guys. Good race. Lee, I'll leave it to you.
I don't think I have much else to add, but the next match in the lower bracket will be pretty interesting, depending on who is sent there between Juke and G Skate.
Yeah, you heard of either of those guys before, Sponge?
No, I don't think I have. Honestly, I've been living under a rock for the past 20 years. Yes, I have. Yeah, pretty good, but just one match at a time. I can win one match. So
They're pretty good, but so are you, sir. A well-earned victory today. We see the 13th seed knocking off the 45th. A sad elimination for Machie. But again, you guys were so great here on the interview. Thank you so much for your time. Any other final thoughts from you two?
Well, for me personally, it's like the future of OoTR is very bright, with a lot of these players coming out of the woodworks every season. We have new players come in, grinding the game, having fun, introducing new players into the top 64 bracket. I'm very excited for like the types of people that we'll see come in and play over the next couple of seasons. It's going to be really fun to watch.
Well said. Yes, well said. Machie, any final thoughts from you?
Yeah, good season, fun seed. The logic was good, and good luck, Sponge, for your next race. Because now I'm finally free.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Alrighty. With that, yeah, GG's again. Sorry, Machie, to see you go. Fantastic race, though. You really put up a fight. And congrats to you, Sponge, and good luck in your next race. Thank you to all of our volunteers. Tracking today, we had Mad Monk Adam and Dominic1496. And thank you so much for the excellent comms today, Hagmania and Lee Harold. What we have on schedule now, we have one more tonight at 8:50 Eastern. Sea Falcon versus Fabio, or another winners bracket round 2 match. And then tomorrow we have one scheduled at 3:50 Eastern, a loser bracket round 1 Quarry versus Volk. And then Saturday, are we streaming on Saturday? The answer is yes. We have about 10 races Saturday. We have no idea how many or which ones we're going to do, so stay tuned to the restream, sign up for that. And with that, I believe we will conclude today. Thank you everyone for coming out, and again, GG's to our runners. Let us find someone to raid. I see Doc Keeps maybe just started a season 6 raid, so maybe we'll just go say hey to him. So to everyone on chat, you have a great day, and see you next time on ZSR.
Take care.